the Nintendo Wii. That's W-I-I. Wii. It got officially dated for America and Japan today, but we're not talking about that, nor are we going to talk about the fact that us lovely Europeans are getting our dates and prices tomorrow. What we're going to talk about today is it going to be any good or not? Well, is it? Will we rock you? Sing it. No? Anyway, will it? Yes, I reckon it will. You've got to look at the games. I mean, Legend of Zelda at launch. Whew, never has a Nintendo console had a Zelda at launch, and Zelda is considered to be Nintendo's #1 mature audience. And after the absolute failure that was the GameCube, when you look at it, oversaturated with kids games, and all the mature games even look like kids games. You know, I've just said that Zelda was Nintendo's mature game. Look at the Wind Waker. How mature did that look? Hang on.
I'm Link. I'm a Saturday cartoon reject with my little pointy sword and my wooden shield and my cute little eyes.
Fuck off. Still, you know, it's got the backing this time. I'm 100% sure of it. Nintendo, they've got to learn sooner or later where they're going wrong, and that is with marketing. And they're marketing it quite well. They've left it until the opportune moment, just before the Tokyo Game Show, to announce all their launch dates, launch prices, and launch games. You know, Sony have played their hand already. Microsoft played their hand last year. Nintendo have just been sat there, nice and patient, waiting for the opportune moment. They've struck, and every single gamer in the world is sitting and waiting. More so because of the DS, actually. You know, the DS has done Nintendo a lot of good favours. They've reinvigorated the company. The DS has. And, yeah, it's doing good. The DS has, as I say, it's reinvigorated Nintendo, and it's brought faith back to the company. Whereas if the DS hadn't have come out and the Micro was going no, then you never know. You know, Nintendo might have been sat there wishing that the Wii was going to be successful. As it looks, Nintendo will be sitting there knowing it will be successful. Will we rock you? It fucking will. But what are the downsides? So, will the Wii get flushed down the bog? Possibly. The only way it will is if Nintendo do not advertise. They only tend to advertise really heavily their handhelds, and even then, you look at the Game Boy Micro, and that's had no advertising on it whatsoever ever since it came out. You know, oh my god, the smallest Game Boy ever. It's like this big. Woohoo! Look at that! It's so big. My finger's actually bigger than the screen. By the way, that was my phone. It's not actually. Look, it's not actually a DS micro. Anyway, the fact is that they've never really marketed the N64 after it came out as a machine. Though to be honest, 500 quid for a console, you were probably looking for a bit much back in them days. Yes, free. But the GameCube never got advertised either, really. No marketing for it once that came out. You had massive hits on there. Resident Evil 4, no advertising. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, no advertising. Super Mario Sunshine, no advertising. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, no advertising. How shocking. You know, your big sellers on the GameCube, and Nintendo just not a care in the world. In contrast, you will see Microsoft market the 360 a lot over Christmas. They've got Gears of War to look forward to, and you've got Sonic the Hedgehog. It's his 15th anniversary. Haha, happy birthday. The PS3 probably not so much. If you watch football, you'll notice that Sony have replaced their PS2 advertising boards with PlayStation 3 ones in the Champions League, but over Christmas they're not going to be advertising it. That will be the start of next year, getting up to March. So basically this Christmas it's just Microsoft and Nintendo, and if Nintendo are going to really fail before March, it will be because of a lack of advertising, and they might just buckle under the pressure of what they've already created themselves. Will it get flushed down the toilet? It's impossible to say. I'd say it's highly unlikely. They're onto a winner. They were onto a winner with a DS, no matter how silly the concept sounded. You know, you only have to look at sales figures against the PSP to see that. But you know, Nintendo are on a resurgence. You know, popularity is coming back, and obviously with all the emos coming around and scaring the shit out of themselves by having cameras pointed directly into their eyeballs from like a 45-degree angle that way, it seems that Nintendo are cool again, because people love retro. It's the NES. The NES is in. It's cool to hate Sony. It's cool to embrace Nintendo with big warm hugs. But, you know, is it going to pass? Is it going to fail? I don't know. Will the Wii become successful? Well, what are my final thoughts on it? My final thoughts on it are this. I reckon the Wii is going to be the #1 must-have Christmas toy, Christmas gadget, whatever you want to call it. It's still going to be #1. The Xbox 360 has got Gears of War out on the 17th of November. That gives 2 weeks between Gears of War coming out, which will be Microsoft's #1 hit, and the Wii. Microsoft was also banking on Forza Motorsport 2 coming out. That doesn't look likely. So yes, I think the Wii is going to be quite successful. Like I say, it does depend on how it's marketed. It depends on the games that come out in Europe for it, and hopefully we'll learn a lot more about that tomorrow. But my gut feeling is that Nintendo are back on the glory days with home consoles with the Nintendo Wii, and I'd love to see them succeed. Just before I go, a little known fact: this is actually the 4th time I've recorded the ending to this blog. It's not my fault, it is Windows Movie Maker's fault. It keeps crashing whilst I'm recording, therefore it only gives me certain parts of clips. I suppose it's my fault really, I don't double check it, I just bung them in the video and assume they're all there. But you know, if I happen to release this and there are sections missing, you know, it just cuts out. Oh, pardon me. Don't blame me. Blame Windows. Blame Microsoft. Because they make their programs a pile of wank. To the point where I'm using this on a $1.5 grand laptop and it's not working properly. So, until next time, which would be LStv episode 5, which will probably be Saturday, I'll see you then. I'm going to leave you with Graveyard Barbecue, because, as I say, Movie Maker's being a bitch and it's not letting me use the song I wanted. So, until then, ta-ra.